All right, you had something to say.
I said something?
You did.
Do I say stuff?
You do.
Oh, I was talking about the inner game of music.
Tell everybody about the inner game of music, because this is like one of the most important concepts we're ever going to cover on video.
Well, it's a book, and I haven't read all of it, but you should all read it, and I should read it too.
Book report, everybody.
It's written by Timothy Galway, I think is his name. He also wrote a book called The Inner Game of Tennis, and I think I've heard musicians say that the inner game of tennis is actually better, so maybe you want to get that one. But bugs are annoying. We were talking about being on stage, and just like if one thing goes wrong, it could totally paralyze you for the rest of the song, set, whatever. And how you just got to be able to get your head back in the game immediately, no matter what happens. Just let the mistake be the mistake of the past, so you don't make any more mistakes.
Cool. All right. There we go. Look at this shiny. Okay, there we go. Here's my version. Sorry, but I want you guys to see my... Oh, you can't see my eyes anyway. They don't exist. There we go. Here's my version of it. Tony Robbins was talking about champion tennis players versus the ones who perform at less than optimum capabilities. And what he said specifically is the ones who do well in tournaments versus the ones who don't, it's not about the shots they take, it's how they recover from those shots. So for instance, you make a bad shot, the tendency is to beat yourself up over it. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I miss this? Oh, blah, 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 blah.
The paralysis of analysis.
Yes. The ones who actually succeeded, the main difference was when they were getting ready for the next shot, that's all they were focusing on. They didn't care about the shot before. They'd focus just on the racket, just stare down at it and put some thought into not where they were, but where they were about to be. And what I was telling Aaron was somebody that I knew was playing a gig recently, and one thing went wrong, and it totally fried him for the rest of the night. It was only a 4-song set, too. I mean, it wasn't a big thing. It was just like an open jam. And because this one thing went wrong, the tendency, which most people have, is, oh, well, I'll get it next time. There is never a next time. There's only the time that you have. So the objective is, in practicing and in specific what we're doing with our students, we're trying to put them in situations where they can learn how to get past when things go wrong. One of my favorite stories is when I was in college, I was doing a recital for classical guitar. And to do classical guitar, you sit down and you put your foot on a footstool, which is just this little pedal thing that elevates your foot so you can prop your guitar up closer to you. It makes the stretches easier, that kind of thing. When I went to play, I wasn't even particularly nervous. It wasn't a nerve thing. It was just like a muscle twitch. But it was a muscle twitch that made this pedal bounce up and down so loudly that it was clacking against the stage so that you could hear it from the back of the auditorium. And the biggest problem was that I had already started playing the song. So my options were stop the song or keep going. So I actually had to play this entire song with my foot bouncing up and down at this furious pace with this thing echoing everywhere. Clack, 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 the entire time. Most people couldn't recover from that. And honestly, at the time, it was really tough for me to recover from that. But it taught me for later on, when I started doing karaoke competitions and that sort of thing, rather than be afraid of making a mistake and pray that you don't, my objective was kind of to get the mistakes out of the way early on. So as soon as I noticed a mistake, it was like, good, now I can actually get to the performance.
I love that. That's so good. It's just like, just let yourself make a mistake at the beginning of your set, and you got it out of the way. You know, you don't have to worry about messing up anymore because you already did. So you can just rock for the rest of the night.
And once you realize you can still live after you made a mistake, life gets a whole lot easier. And you don't necessarily have to intentionally do it, but if it does come up, the point isn't to think backwards on what you just did wrong. The point is to think forwards about how you're going to do things right. That's why we do the unlimited lessons, so you can get all the practice that you need to learn the song. That's why we do the band classes, so you can practice those songs every week, and when you screw up, you do it again. And then we put you in front of people, so that way when you screw up, you can get used to it. The whole point is exposure over and over and over again. We're trying to develop a habit of success. You will not be a musician if you can't get this concept. You won't. Aaron's killing bugs still. The whole purpose behind what we're doing, I say this often, but nobody ever, dead bug, does anything poorly and enjoys it. I've never once heard anybody been like, wow, I was awful at that. That was great.
Dude, you totally sucked. High five.
Woo! Okay, nobody even saw that on camera.
Never happens.
Yep. So, if you know that you're not going to enjoy being not good at something, for instance, let's say you play t-ball, okay? If you're not good at batting, bat more. It doesn't mean you get to not bat ever because you're not good at it. It's part of the game. And similarly, you can't not ever make a mistake on stage. It's just part of the game. Learn to play the right game. Don't try and change the rules. You can't. Learn to play the right game.
We were at a picnic yesterday.
Yeah, tell them about that. I already videotaped Corey talking about it. And tell them what songs we played.
We made them all up.
Oh, yeah. How many times do we practice them ahead of time?
Never.
Never? Okay.
We might have just accidentally gone into one song. I don't know.
Corey started out with kind of the riff from Roadhouse Blues.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep, which we totally deviated from.
Everything just made up on spot, metric modulations, the whole bit. Mm-hmm. But there was this guy there, and he's a hypnotherapist, and he's talking about the golf game and how you actually spend
it was like
a couple minutes actually swinging the club.
It was 4 hours to play the game. 180 seconds of that is actually swinging the club.
And then the rest of that is just keeping your mental process just chill and relaxed and focused.
So, when I say things like, do it again, do it in front of other people, I fully intend to torture you with it. Know that. However, the reason I intend to torture you with it is eventually it won't be torture anymore. This is my huge problem with recitals. I hate them. Here's why. You practice for 6 months at a time. You get up on stage for one song for 4 minutes.
You build that anticipation, that nervousness for 6 months.
Yeah, I have to do it right. I have to, or else what's going to happen? 99.999% of the people who get up there, even if you've practiced every day, even if you went and played it in front of people for weeks ahead, you're still going to screw up, partially because of the pressure that you're under. So if you do it once every 6 months, all you really did is add anxiety into your own life. Not good. What we're looking for is to continually keep practicing being in front of people so that when you screw up, it's not a big deal, and then pretty soon it just doesn't bother you anymore, period. That's when you get to start being a musician. That's why, I was watching a Keith Urban video yesterday. Somebody wanted to learn that song. Pretty good song, Days Go By. The reason Keith Urban sings and plays like he does is because he does it every single day. You can't do it for a day and then take a week off. You can't get on stage once every 6 months and expect to be good. You won't. Ever. It will not happen. You can do it every couple weeks and be relatively comfortable with it. You can do it once a month and be okay with it, or you could do it every weekend and be awesome at it before it's all said and done. before it's all said and done, might be a month or two out. You might have to do a gig every weekend for a couple months to be really comfortable with it. However, Aaron's band's been playing for how long? 6 years together? Something like that?
Yeah, right around there. There's different incarnations, but Cora's been there for about 6 years.
Okay. How do you guys think you are on stage now?
It's been a couple months, but it's pretty good.
Pretty good?
It's not as good as I want it to be, but it'll get there. When we're touring and playing shows every night, then, you know.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
There it is.
Being a musician, it's a way of life. If you don't want it to be your way of life, go find something else to be your way of life.
He's right. Later.